World Economic Forum on Africa. It starts today. Liabo, I know that all eyes are on Rwanda at this time, and it's been such a pleasant surprise for a lot of people that perhaps don't really know what Rwanda's all about, how it's progressed in the years since its genocide, and of course now with the World Economic Forum there, it takes center stage.
Leanne, you are absolutely right. Rwanda has surprised a lot of people with the transformation that it has made since the genocide in 1994. However, with this conference, we'll know that entrepreneurship and digital transformation are big. Entrepreneurship, of course, is of growing interest across the continent, especially among the youth. Now, nearly 60% of the continent's population is under the age of 24. This means that job creation and employment of youth is a critical issue for government, civil society, and the business sector. Earlier on in the day, I told you that I'll be attending a session for entrepreneurs from Africa who are convened here near the place where we're going to be holding the conference, and they're talking about how an ideal African entrepreneur can contribute to Africa's growth prospects. And I actually have one entrepreneur here for you. Her name is Sonia Magoda. She is from Rwanda. She's a fashion entrepreneur, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her journey and also tell us about what she's expecting from this conference. Sonia, thank you very much for your time. Give me a little bit of insight of who you are and what you do.
Sure. Well, my name is Sonia Mugabo, and I'm a fashion designer or a fashion entrepreneur, and I have a brand that's named after me, and I do women and menswear.
Tell me about your journey of becoming an entrepreneur, particularly because you are a young woman. Is it necessarily easy to start a business in Africa when you are a young woman?
I think I'm lucky enough that in Rwanda, they promote gender equality, gender parity. So I've been given the same opportunities as a young man would have. So, I mean, it's not necessarily always easy, but we have to sort of change the mindset that a woman can indeed be a successful entrepreneur.
A lot of the entrepreneurs that I've interacted with cite the issue of a market dominance by big businesses, as well as the red tapes around accessing of finance and other things. What kind of challenges have you found when you were setting up your fashion empire?
Yes, I think the financing is the biggest part because you always feel like you don't have enough money to start. But I'm also a huge believer that you should sort of invest in your ideas and save as much as you can and slowly start your business, and hopefully an investor will be interested. I started with my savings, and now I'm having different people who are approaching me wanting to finance my business. So,
if you did not have an investor who was interested in your business, what would have been your second plan?
My second plan, I would just keep on reinvesting back in my business. The profit that I have, that's what I've been doing actually for 2 years now. And I just keep reinvesting back. And I don't make much profit, but I just know my business has to keep going.
What role did the education and business management play in making sure that you get set up and get ready to go?
Sure. Well, for example, I can see the fashion industry in Rwanda is very young. So sort of most people rely on import clothes, second-hand clothes. So having this idea of trying to be a fashion designer was really new in my country, but with the education, I realized it can create jobs, it can bring innovation, it can promote made in Rwanda products, and that's what really kept me going. Yeah.
I had a chat with some of the business people in the Kigali town, in the city town, and I've been told that the government has very enabling programs to make sure that entrepreneurs thrive. As a matter of fact, each and every corner I went to, there were businesses there. Government, you would say that they're making things easy for you?
Absolutely. They're encouraging. There are lots of programs, for example, with this initiative that's happening, the Youth Series, we get to interact with other entrepreneurs, we get a sense of what they do, we get recognized, so it's the government encourages.
So we have the World Economic Forum that started today. What are your expectations? What are you hoping to walk away with from this conference?
Hopefully, I want to be able to network with other entrepreneurs, learn about how can my business be influenced by the digital aspect of it. So there's just so much to learn, so many people to interact with, and see if I can have different opportunities, being with financing or just any kind. Yeah.
Connecting Africa's resources through digital transformation, that's our theme. How do we merge fashion with technology?
Sure. I think for now, like what we do, in Rwanda, there's not enough skills, and I think with technology, we can be able to train more people, create more jobs, and just sort of advance the fashion industry into sort of like a China. You know how there's mass production. And so hopefully with this World Economic Forum, we'll be able to learn how the two can sort of.
Tell me something. Do you think that there's a market internationally for African-made products? Do you think that the world is open for products such as yours? You told me earlier on that the dress that you're wearing, you made it yourself.
Yes. I think so. I think Africa, we have so many diverse, rich cultures, and now I think there's a growing trend of people wanting to dress with Ankara or Gitenge. So I think there's definitely a market, and we just have to sort of explore and enter the market. Yeah. Okay,
we're going into June. As a fashion person, what would you say that are the trends for this year in June going forward, so our listeners would know what to wear and what's trendy this time around?
I would say lots of like flowy dresses, lots of like sort of bohemian, free, and I think now fashion is more about comfort. So being comfortable and just being comfortable in your own skin. So that's what I'd say.
Sonia, thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much. Lian, you heard that flowy dresses, bohemian headgear. So make sure that your wardrobe is geared like that so that you are in trend. But that is Sonia. She's a fashion entrepreneur. There are other entrepreneurs behind me in the hall behind me, and they are talking about how they're going to take Africa forward. By the end of this conference, I am sure that a lot of people are going to be very encouraged and very brave to start their own businesses and want to go out into the continent and not perhaps just sit in South Africa and say they serve in Johannesburg and Cape Town. They'll be brave enough to take on the world and say, I want to take my products to Rwanda, I want to take my products to Uganda.
Yeah, well, thank you very, very much. I must tell you, I'm thoroughly enjoying hearing about what it's like in Kigali and Rwanda. And it's amazing, no matter who I speak to and whichever media source you turn on, and of course you being there, I'm sure you're not too aware of the impact that this forum is actually having on South Africans, and finding out, it looks like we're losing the picture, but finding out about Kigali and Rwanda in particular, especially when it comes to the digital progress that this particular country has made. I mean, when you look at Rwanda, and I've been hearing reports that when it comes to progress, when it comes to the digital progression, it far surpasses South Africa, and that's absolutely incredible. And also Kigali being one of the cleanest cities in the world as well, just looking after it, and some people actually putting a big shout out there saying, listen, if Kigali can do it right, surely we can do it right here in South Africa. Let's try and clean up our mess here and make our country also one of the cleanest in the world. So that is all ahead of the World Economic Forum that is set to start today, and it's going to be lasting for the remainder of the weekend. We will be crossing over the entire time for the duration of this World Economic Forum and finding out some of the things that will be happening there, how to stimulate the African economy, how indeed to create growth and jobs on the continent. And I think that's at the heart of the discussions that will be taking place. All right.